ask me why, but I've done it again. I'm back in the Cyberverse. Power of the spark. The cyber ning 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 ning. I couldn't help myself, cause it's my boy Grim. I love me the Grimlock. Pretty close to every Grimlock that comes out I entertain the idea of. I haven't got any of the Cyberverse because if you've seen a few of my other videos, you'll have found out that I've never watched it. I don't actually super want to watch it because the toys do nothing for me. But it does seem like this is a gimmick that they're going to integrate into the show because, you know, I obviously still watch the trailer for what's coming out. I'm still aware of it. I'm cyber aware. I always practice Cyberverse safety first. God, this is ridiculous. Whoop whoop. Here is Grimlock with his iconic friend, Trash Bash. I get it, you know, when I think Grimlock, the very next thing that pops into my mind is Garbage Truck. So this to me is an obvious and logical pairing. Non sequitur accessory aside, there's actually something quite charming about this little grimmity grim boy. I find Grimlock's kind of oh, there's a little bit of head swivel there. The ultimate representation of like characters in Transformers, how some characters in Transformers are super popular in the fandom and then they just don't end up really ever getting satisfying figures. Like I think I even remember sometime around when Fall of Cybertron was coming out that Hasbro's official plan had been to retire the Dinobots and the game peeps had to be like, what are you, insane? They're robot dinosaurs. That's kind of about as cool as it gets. Articulation-wise, arm pop-off aside, he's actually not too bad. Like, compared to the couple of other Cyberverse figures that I've gotten and played with, like, he's got reasonable, sensible articulation. Like, he can still throw some pretty, like, Grimlocky shapes. I wonder if he can... Well, I can't be bothered, but if I fiddled with it, I reckon you could. He does have these weird back of the leg peg business going on, but, you know, that's to compensate for the extra weight of the garbage truck. But while I've got him here in robot mode, I thought probably the best way to do comparisons with this particular figure and probably with Cyberverse in general, was to do comparisons to some of the weirder and more underwhelming. Well, some say underwhelming. Some of these figures are awesome for their gimmicky weirdness, which I could almost see this boy with his favourite little pet truck. I could see them becoming something that people like, remember that? That was weird. I like that. Like, kind of like, you know, how there was, like, a pretender Grimlock. Did somebody call me? I'm Grimlock. No, not really. It's a boy! Another little weirdy, gimmicky, suit-wearing Grimlocky lock. I don't know, I'm not really sure how people feel about this one in general, fandom-wise. I'm missing his tail, don't tell anyone. I love all the weirder stuff in Transformers in general. Pretenders is such an awesomely weird line. And, I don't know, will this Grimlock be remembered similarly? I don't know, time will tell. Oh, at this angle is the first time I've really noticed the war within, like, Toothy Head. Which is strange, because I'm pretty sure the box had him looking all like the Falcon. I, for one, love the Toothy Head. When I've seen the art from Cyberverse of Grimlock with his, like, open mouth and clear face, like, I don't know enough about his character in that show, but I feel like Grimlock with the fully contained head speaks to his rage as a character, that he's almost, like, concealed. There's so much of him kept away and barely contained, and it gives him the whole Gladiator vibes. I don't know. Did someone say weird gimmicky Grimlock? More gremlin than Grimlock. I remember at the time, because Grimlock was one of my favorites from when I was a kid, and I never had the G1 Dinobot as a little boy. Obviously now I do as a man-child, but not as a child. So when this one came out as part of Energon, like that's when I started actually properly collecting Transformers, was with Energon. Like the back end of Armada kind of piqued my interest, and then Energon was when I like really dove in. So for a long time I tried my hardest to get behind this as my Grimlock. And you know, nostalgia aside, this Grimlock's already better than this guy. I tried my best.
Me Grimlock say all Grimlock is good Grimlock.
And just in case you don't have any of those other freak locks, here he is with one I found to be personally quite underwhelming. I didn't like Combiner Wars. I got them, and I was really happy to have them, and I like looking at them separately, but they don't work as anyone's like display Dinobots. Maybe this guy. But I think you'd still have to go for Fall of Cybertron Grimlock over this if you're doing like a chug dioramary Civil War reenactment kind of dealio-yo. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a bo peep at that transformation and get into the real action.
Did somebody say action?
Transformation action. Alright, so I might have thrown some shade at the transformation of the couple of Cyberverse figures that I've had the misfortune of playing with. Actually, that's not true. I love Nor. Nor was awesome. Warts and all. Weird, thigh gap issues and everything. Anyway, this figure's kind of brought me around a little bit. For how, simple he seems from this, it's actually a pretty clever transformation. So, flip this down, spin this down and around, and then you've got the lower half of his dinosaur. Bottom jaw, vestigial arms, right, so that position that wherever. Hands obviously just flip in because they were lucky enough that became part of the character model, so you can just lazily do that with every Grimlock. Again? Actually, I think people would be mad if he didn't have his toes on his wrists to king hit people with. This is where it gets really cool. Well, this is where there's some interesting engineering. You come down to his legs, flip all this out, flip this out, and then you give it the old connect in, all the way down along his melon as well. Cool. And then you just fold him like a panini. There's two tabs here, the tab in there. So find their home, and that'll guide you to the rest. Just give it all a tighten. And here he is. Little totally adorable Grimlock. Look at that. Look at that head, neck dealio. That makes him look so much like, what did they call him? I want to say Organoid, but I don't know if that's right. But the one from Zoid's Chaos? Zeke? Eye patch? Friend? I don't know. Obviously, when I do the edit, I'll probably put something here, where my fingers are now, showing whatever the hell it is I'm trying to talk about. For a couple of quick dino comparisons, here he is with Mecha Yoshi. Russell. Blum, 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 blum. It's like Godzilla's baby, whatever his name is. I don't know, I always want to call him Gazuki, but I don't think that's what he's actually called. I undercut my father's violence! That's enough of that. Maybe it's time to finally show off this fabled action feature.
You say action, master?
Cool. So, here we are back in robot mode, and let's get our friend and faithful companion. Smash Trash. Trash Crash? Trash Bash. Trash Crash. I don't like saying that. Here's his orange mate. Now, the Spark Armor Optimus that I had, the big one, had a lot of mechanized action to make it do its bippity bops, which conceptually is pretty cool. The payoff on that wasn't great. Now, this one, when I was playing with it off camera so that I didn't look like an idiot, when I couldn't make it work, isn't that different. So if we grab Grimmicus, Grimmy. Anyway, plug to plug, and then, so you position him like this, and to his credit, Grimlock being Grimlock, he can handle the weight, right? He handled the weight of the Autobot crown to mix success. So you got him like this, you've got this tab, and then it's just meant to just really smoothly and easily just automate its way. Automorph, Cyberverse, Mech Tech, its way on and clip and stay. Clip and stay. There we go. I had to have that forward. Let's try that again and see if it doesn't look as horrendous. So, it kind of helps a little bit, I guess, if you do this, but open up, push it forward, and then it locks into place. What do we think? Actually, now that I'm looking at it in this light, I should probably mention, I don't know if you can see it, the new Grimlock head, as well as looking like a G1 Optimus helmet with gas mask canisters, also kind of has the underbite a bit like animated Grimlock, so that's kind of like a nice little nod to it. So yeah, now there's these claws that are not dissimilar to the claws he had in dinosaur mode. And he can't use his arms really. Can they get past? Oh, not without activating. Right. Oh. To me, this feels almost more like Cybertronian agricultural equipment. Like,
I guess me Grimlock on harvest duty again. It feels good.
I don't know how useful it is in terms of battle. But I will say this, they've done a really good job with how much the toy itself captures the action of the box art. I mean, it's not like a kid in the 80s thinking they're getting Ironhide or Ratchet and opening up that weird foldy, bendy, twisto stare boy that looked more like Johnny Five than, Ironhide. I don't know. I kind of like him for the transformation, like he's a little cute Grimlock. But I will say in this mode, he does kind of, to a degree, abstractly remind me of one of my all-time favorite Transformers across any line, anything, anywhere. Honestly, one of my all-time. Hang on. I'll go get him out. I kind of only just thought of this then, and I was rambling, but now I'll go get him. Just hang on. I'll be right back. Right, for those of you playing at home, guess that Pokemon! No, alright. Who arrived at this? Who, when they see this, who doesn't think of the vastly, vastly superior Transformers Energon Landmine? Oh god, I love this figure. What are we thinking? Is it worth picking up Grimlock with superfluous dump truck action? Should you spend your money picking this guy up? Do you need him in your life? Do you need him in your collection? Are you a fan of the show and because it might come up in the show, do you just need it? I don't know. I can't answer these questions. But I can tell you this. I really like Landmine. Oh man, he's so cool. Oh, I can't wait to go through all my Energon figures properly.